Andrew Tate is popular because of Subway Surfers. Today's video is going to make a case that Andrew Tate and figures like him are popular not just because of wide-spanning political issues and, the climate of radicalization online, but because of a content strategy, something present in things as simple and innocuous as tasty videos, all the way up to the most nefarious, political, money-grubbing, drop-shipping scam artists on the internet. To start things off, I want to run you through a simple experiment. Look at the screen right now. This is visual number one. Visual number one is just me talking, looking at the camera. Now look at visual number two. Visual number two is this beautiful additional building of a strange contraption on the side of the screen. Which visual do you prefer? Well, if you said number one, you're a liar, and I can prove it. I'm gonna prove it through the immense success across TikTok and YouTube of content that relies upon an added visual simulating a task being completed. While this content isn't everyone's cup of tea, it has proven to be memetically successful to the point where most, Reddit stories accounts or accounts aiming to popularize clips from a podcast or, a skit channel on YouTube now mobilize this added visual. Today's video is going to be an attempt to link a sort of spectrum of versions of this type of content, ranging from what will begin with very simple POV style content. I've made a video about this channel, but Tasty is a fantastic example. Have you ever watched a Tasty recipe video? The clean 60 seconds, make a complicated dish. Things are happening on screen extremely quickly. And in your mind, you're like, I am making this right now. Then you might even be motivated to go make it yourself. Now, the reality, as most who have done this know, is that the actual process of making it yourself is exceedingly more difficult. Things are messy, there's flour everywhere, you mess up the cutting, and you're like, oh, they didn't do that in the Tasty video, do I need to restart? That is the reality of, the feeling those videos give you versus how it actually manifests. Similarly, there's rock climbing POVs. There's countless types of this POV long-form content that show you a task being completed almost seamlessly, and in the mind sort of simulate that being done. However, the reality is nowhere near the same. These are very overt instances of parasocial agency. Agency simulated through what the cameraman or editor or creator is trying to convey. They're giving you, extending will that they have, cultivated and cut into a perfectly sequenced set of clips, and letting you see through their eyes and feel as if you are doing that. Now, where this gets a bit more subliminal is when it comes to gaming. We've all seen commentary videos like Leafy is Here or Pyrocynical comes to mind. Commentary with the added gaming visual. The gaming is supposed to basically occupy one part of your mind while the commentary streams in as, the crux of the video. They're not going to title it, Gary's Mod Gaming Montage. They're going to call it whatever the video is talking about. However, the function of that base content is something we cannot ignore, for it simulates a type of agency, you seamlessly completing a video game level. Now, this is exactly what is happening when we look at, Subway Surfers on Reddit stories. A perfect example here. This is the same principle at play. I believe this is actually quite similar to something called highway hypnosis. Highway hypnosis is when you're driving and you basically completely forget that you're driving and exist in your own head, daydreaming, thinking about the grocery list, and you're completing rather complicated tasks. I believe this is what Subway Surfers style content simulates. It simulates that feeling of accomplishing something very seamlessly while the added layer of mental activity goes on top of it. This style of content is amazing at holding people's attention and almost seems to facilitate whatever the message of the top, mental activity content is, as you're more willing to pay attention and listen. Now, let's take this same idea and apply it to things that are a bit more highbrow. We've all seen, entrepreneurship videos, hustle culture videos, motivational videos. Here's how to fix your depression. Here's how to fix your anxiety. Here's how to start a drop shipping empire. These extremely well edited, quick step videos that go over relatively wide spanning, hard to quantify in small steps changes one would need to make in their life to achieve these tasks. This is the same style of content. It simulates agency. Have you ever watched a Jordan Peterson video, a Bia Heza video, and watch someone do a really long form, complicated thing or explain something that in your head is like this behemoth in easy steps? You watch it and in your mind you're like, oh, I can do that. I'm going to do that right after this. I'm doing that right now. I'm cleaning my room. I'm starting the Shopify account. Then the second the video's over, you go to actually start and you get stuck on the first step. That feeling of motivation is immediately wiped away and you find yourself thinking like, oh man, what's wrong with me? I can't, it was so simple. Why am I not able to accomplish this? That is the simulated agency. That is parasocial agency evoked through the content. Now, I'm not saying that this is, something to condemn these types of creators. In fact, I find this can be a huge aid to motivating things in your own life, this style of content. However, the separation is something that's not often acknowledged and can actually be quite detrimental, as it makes you more reliant on just watching the content to feel that feeling of willpower and things getting done, as opposed to actually making the changes in your own life. To tie back to the initial claim about Andrew Tate, the reason he found such massive success on TikTok over the past year and a half is because of his own clips paired with video game clips. This is Andrew Tate in a nutshell. His content strategy across TikTok was basically an affiliate marketing deal for Hustlers University, where people take clips of him, add a compelling GTA or just video game visual, and something about that seamless combo of, the subliminal automaticity simulated agency upon, him telling you, this is what you need to do to get rich. It was the perfect formula for distracting people and giving them that subtle agency, along with the, I'm listening to him and I feel like I'm getting this done as well. When concepting this video, I couldn't help but think of friend of the channel MemeAnalysis and his myth of the internet. Initially, I was just gonna toss up a link to the MemeAnalysis website and say, go research the Minotaur on yourself. But then I thought, why not have him come on and explain it? Without further ado, here is Chris to talk about the conceptual framework that underlies this style of content creator.
I am going to unveil all the mysteries, religious mysteries or natural mysteries, death, birth, the future, the past, cosmogony, nothingness. I am a master of phantasmagoria. Listen. On my website and in my videos, I have talked about the Minotaur, a part of my four-pronged myth of the internet. Now, the myth of the internet is, as I'm going to reveal, a mystery. And it is a mystery that is inextricably linked to magic and to Christianity in particular, where the four angels, the four cherubs, are related to an inverse cliffothic form of themselves. And so each of these angels has a virtue. And the virtue of the Minotaur's counterpart, which is the lion, is to will. The virtue of the angel is to will. And therefore the vice of the Minotaur, the vice of the followers of the Minotaur, is to have no will. Now, perhaps the text that gives us the most insight into the nature of the Minotaur is Wilhelm Reich's Listen, Little Man. And here he says, so beautifully, he covers up his smallness and narrowness with illusions of strength and greatness, of others' strength and greatness. He is proud of his great generals, but not proud of himself. He admires the thought which he did not have, and not the thought he did have. He believes in things all the more thoroughly, the less he comprehends them. and does not believe in the correctness of those ideas which he comprehends most easily. Now, I'm sure that many of you enjoy the content of figures like this, in part because I think my appeal as MemeAnalysis has been kind of something like that. I speak a lot of things that people have felt or feel that they can relate to, but I am not necessarily trying to steal your energy, steal your vibe. I am not trying to give you a will. I am hoping to help you discover your own will, whereas the Minotaurs in media are interested in thinking for you, in willing for you. They don't want you to have a will of your own. They want you to follow their will. And ultimately, you might think that there are great high goals behind this, that it's for the country, it's for the race. It's not. It's for them. It is just for them. And if you really want to get far out, it's for the Minotaur. It's for a dark form, a dark and demonic form that feeds on your unexpressed will. The will that you do not have does not exist. It's food for these creatures, for these content creators and thought leaders. You must take care to have your own will, to think for yourself and to not even follow what I say. But I know that you won't. I know you'll say, cringe, I thought MemeAnalysis was based. That's what you're going to say because you can't have an original thought. You can't respond to this because you are small. If you were large, you would have a thought. Not even necessarily one that agrees with me, but start willing. Start willing. Or rather, don't will. Stop willing. I want you small and down and following me.
Thank you, Chris. Not sure how to follow that up. Keep watching What It Is, or don't, or no, watch MemeAnalysis. That is the Minotaur, and I feel it exemplifies the wider conceptual function of particularly like high-level parasocial agency, things that effectively simulate, problem solving for you. This manifests in politics, it manifests in life advice and how to make money. And even this content to some degree, while I'm not trying to sell you something, I am explaining something and simulating the breakdown, which transitions into this perfectly. What was I building this entire video? Well, this is the soul of What It Is. This is the point of What It Is. The reason I have built this Thanos gauntlet, and, I'm not a big Marvel guy, but I liked Thanos before, they Marvelified him, but the point of this entire channel is not actually to explain things to you, but rather to show how to build them. I would like to utilize What It Is as a mode of showing, not telling. In the earliest iteration of this channel, I was focused a lot on breaking down content with why it works, and I got kind of fed up with myself listening to, someone talk about something without actually having done it. I feel all of these principles would be far more clear and understandable if they could actually be shown in practice, which is the point of the Thanos Glove here. I don't just want to do this for one genre on the internet. I want to collect each of the infinity stones of content. I'd like to make a successful content instance that I could showcase to you via this channel for each of these stones in each possible genre of content. That is the goal. I'm speaking it now. It will happen. It is what it is. Stay cognizant of the content you're consuming.